everybody and welcome back. We are here for another Crafty Christmas in July. This is a collaboration that is being ran by Teri from Sweet Pea Papers. This is my third and final video as part of the collaboration. I will have all the links down below to all of the other crafters. If you have missed anybody, go back and check out those videos. They really are inspirational. Like I said, I always enjoy these kind of collaborations because with people working with the same papers, the projects they come up with are always so varied and different. Even if Christmas is not perhaps your jam, go and check them out anyway, because as I said, you'll still be inspired and get some ideas of different projects you can make, but perhaps in a theme more suitable to you. Having said that though, the two Christmas kits that we have been allowed to work with have been absolutely beautiful. I have only been using one of them just because it fit best for the type of project that I was doing, but there is a steampunk Christmas as well, which I know some others have been using, and it's really, really good as well. So please make sure you go and check out those designers and their kits because they are really, really awesome. Also make sure that you are commenting on each of the videos and posting in the hosting Facebook groups. There is a prize drawing towards the end of the collaboration, so you want to be posting as much as you can to get those entries in. Right, so we have been making a small folio. So this is what we have so far. If I open this one up, so we've got this cute little mouse on the front. We've got that cute little guy on the back, and then as we open up, we've got the notepad that we made in the first video on one side, and then we've got a couple of pockets here, which is what we're going to fill today. Now, when I made this one on camera, I did make my red string a little bit shorter, so I've dug out my string again. I'm going to cut that off and make it longer because I like this one where it wrapped around twice. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I do like that it wraps around twice. I just think it looks a little bit better and it's a bit more secure. So I'm going to amend that, and I'm going to do that now before I forget actually. So first of all, I need my small scissors. So we've got my teeny tiny ones. Now I know I'm not going to be able to get all of it out because I have obviously tied a knot, but I'm just going to get underneath and snip away as much of the red string as I can. Oh. There we go. And then this time I want to make sure that we can go around twice. So I think what I'm going to do is tie it first. She says. So I'm just going to put a little knot underneath there, like so, and trim. Now, I wanted it to go around twice, so I come around once and twice. And then I want enough to kind of go around and snip down. There we go, that's better. I'm much happier with that now. Right, okay, so that's that part done. Right, so to go into those pockets, I thought I'd do a couple of things. So these cute little journaling cards I thought would be super cute. I'm going to make them more of tags, so I will put holes in the top and put some ribbons in. But yeah, I thought these would make cute little tags. And then we've got these two envelopes, which I also thought would be quite cute because some people sometimes gift money. So I thought they'd be cute little money envelopes, or it might even fit a gift card in. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut out both of them because obviously I can have one in each of the folios. So I'm just going to grab my larger scissors for this. I also really like this because this is very similar. It's just obviously not quite as faded, but it's the same as what I've got in the background. So this one goes really, really nice. This one is still striped, but obviously it's not like the kind of vintage faded stripes that you have on the other. But that's another thing that I quite like about these kits is if you have a particular style, so if you are more vintage, you can perhaps leave these pages and just go for the more vintage look. Or if you're not into vintage, then obviously there are pages then that are suitable if you don't want a vintage look. As I said, I really like the Steampunk Christmas one. But unfortunately, because I was making the notebook, there weren't many pages that had blank spaces for writing, so it just didn't work with the notebook side. And I didn't want to mix and match and bring Steampunk Christmas in when I've got little cute mice. I thought I wanted the whole thing to be a bit more cohesive. But if you're doing something that doesn't require necessarily a lot of writing space, perhaps you're just decorating, so maybe if you're creating a photo album or something where somebody's going to be sticking photos, then the Steampunk Christmas might be a really good idea. Although, like I said, go and check out the other creators, because you're going to have so many ideas on how to use these kits just by sort of watching everybody's videos. I've obviously done 3 videos. I think there are a couple of others that have also done more than one video. So you'll be able to see a huge range of different projects. Which, as I say, is something I always enjoy with these collaborations. I like going and watching what everybody does. Now I am still a little bit behind on the videos. I haven't caught up with all of them yet. That's going to be, I think, over the next couple of days. I'm just going to sit, chill. I'm currently sorting out my craft room. So while I tidy up my craft room, I think I'm going to have the videos sort of playing on my screen so I can kind of watch what everybody's up to. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. It's now finally the summer holidays here in the UK, but the week leading up to that was quite a hectic one. So we've now just had 1 week off, and I feel like I've just kind of, I don't know, I've obviously exhausted myself because, yeah, last week my brain was not functioning at all, really. I think it was mush by the end of the school year. But now we are back on track, or getting there anyway. I really like the colours on this one. Vintage is more my style. I don't always do vintage, but I do tend to kind of go towards vintage style kits. Right, so they're my 2 envelopes. What I'm going to do is just to kind of speed this process up a little bit with the tags. If I trim them down a little bit, I'm actually going to use my trimmer to do the rest, just because I think it might be a little bit quicker. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get 4 in each one, so I may not end up using all of them. Now I have printed these on different weights, so this is 160 GSM, so this one is slightly thicker than what you would have as normal printing paper. This one I've printed on 220, so again it's thicker still, just because I think I do think that these need to be a little bit thicker as tags. Because if they are attached to a gift or something, then they do need to have, I think, a little bit more stability. Okay, so that's 2. Yeah, what's been your favourite project so far? What have you enjoyed seeing? Or are you like me, you just enjoy seeing the variety of projects from everybody? It does always amaze me how different the papers can look, even though we're all using the same stuff, but it's how different the papers can look depending on the project that you do. That's why I do love these kind of collaborations where you've got so many different creators, because they just look at the papers and see something completely different to everybody else, which is obviously amazing. Right, I think I'm going to do a couple more. So these two look like they've got a very similar mouse in. So I want to try and go for ones that are a little bit different. So I do like this mouse on here with the mushrooms. I actually quite like these two. So I'm just going to cut them all out anyway, I think. And then we can kind of decide which ones we're actually going to use in a minute. Right. Trim this one down. Start this way. Right, last two. Need to take just a smidge off that edge. Oh, let's go that way. Nearly there. And one more. Fab. Right, okay. So let's have a look and see. So I think I'm going to prepare 3 for each pocket. So I do like those two. So we'll have those two. So these two mice look rather similar. So we can maybe have one of those in each. And then he looks quite cute holding the presents. And this one's got holly. I mean, he's got holly berries and small mushrooms. But I've got 2 mushrooms in that. Oh, that one's got mushrooms as well. Oh, I don't know. I'll go with that one. Right, okay. So, first of all, let's create the envelopes. Oh, let's move those out the way. So let's create the envelopes. Now, these are nice and small envelopes, which is obviously really good, but you can obviously play around with your printer settings and shrink them down if you wish to. That's a point, actually. So for making these pages, I did shrink the pages down. So I did 2 of the A4 size pages down onto 1 page to make them nice and small. The envelopes I haven't resized at all. I kept them exactly what size they were. So this is the size that they kind of print and cut out. And I did do a little test print to just check that they do fit in my folio, and they do. And these I shrunk down, but just ever so slightly. So unfortunately my printer setting didn't give me a % of what I've shrunk it down, but yeah, I did shrink it a little bit. Okay, so they're going to get folded in there. That goes on top, and then that comes down there. That's really cute. I like that. Okay, so that'll be one envelope. Let's fold up the next one. and the last flap. Awesome. Okay, so if we open this up again, pop that inside, and that's the second envelope. Oh, lovely. And I think I've folded that just ever so slightly over too much because those lines actually line up. So let's just push that back to where it's supposed to be. Oh, I like that. Brilliant. Okay. So we've got 2 envelopes. Let's get those glued down actually. I'm just going to, I've got a little bit sort of hanging off there, not entirely sure why. Right, okay. I'm not going to ink these only because I haven't inked any of the other papers. Let's see, where do we need to ink up to? So roughly where that red line is. There we go, there's one. And 2. Okay. Right, I think I might add something to those in a minute, but I'm just going to put them to the side for now. Right, let's have a little look at these. So I do want to punch a hole in them, as I've said, and set an eyelet. So let's bring this in. And I don't want to go in too far, so I'm actually setting this at 1/4 of an inch so that it only goes in 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to roughly aim for the middle, hopefully. There. There we go. I'll do the same on the other set. Again, try and aim roughly for the middle. And that's those 3. Right, okay. Now I have got some different eyelets. So I've got some red, I've got 2 white and 2 silver. So let's have a look. I'm thinking you can be white, you can be silver, and you can be red. Oops. So silver, white, and red. And then let's have a look at these ones. So I'm thinking white, red and silver. There. Fabulous, right. go. Right, and then for ribbons, I do have this lace which also has a little bit of a sparkle on it. I've also got these which I was thinking I could possibly attach to a corner somewhere, maybe, or I might use those on here somehow, don't know yet. I have some green. I think this is like a sari silk, but I thought this might go quite nicely. And then I do have this one which is more of a kind of mushroomy colour, but I thought it went nicely with the colours in here. So they're my options at the moment. So I'm just going to snip a bit off. And then I wonder if this tears. Let's have a little tester. Just to make it a bit thinner. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Excellent. Right, okay. Don't know if that's a bit too long actually. Yeah, I think I might halve those because I think that's going to be quite long. Right, okay. So I'm going to put some ribbon in this one. I might even just trim that down a little bit more because obviously these are only small tags, so you don't want it too big. So we've got one done. What else have we got? I'm sure I've got a white ribbon as well. I think I'll just stick with this for now actually. I'll stick with this. Right, this one, because it's quite thick, I'm not going to try and fold it up and push it through as I normally do. I'm just going to feed it through. I'm going to pull it up and then I'm going to staple it up at the top here. So I'm just going to use my tiny attacher. I'm just going to make sure it's split a little bit and just come in at the top just above where the eyelet is and just pop a little staple in. There we go. That will just hold the fabric in place. So we've got that one, and then the final one, I think we're going to have this one in. And this one I am going to loop because although it is still a crochet one, it's not as thick as the other colour. There we go. Again, I'm just going to give that a slight trim. Oh, there we go. Right, so that's how they're going to look. I'm going to do the same on this side then. Oh. Problem with the sari silk, it gets very stringy. So let's roll that round, pop that in there. Oh, she says. There we go. That's it. Again, just a tinsy trim. Green fibres all over the shop. Right, so that's that one. Then we'll do the white again. I think that's actually short enough, that's fine. And then the final one, I'm going to do the same. So I'm just going to fold this over. And then give it just a tinsy staple. There we go. Right, so that's all of those bits done. Okay, so now I do still have these, and I don't know if I will attach them. I think I'll just keep them to the side, and then who knows, we'll use them some other time. Let's just have a little look how these are going to go in here. So we can have the envelope going in here at the back with the little mouse kind of peeking through, and then let's see if we can in fact get, actually let's put you towards the back, maybe green a little bit higher, and then white down this side, so it looks something like that. Oh, I really like that. Let's just check. So this is why we've given it such a nice width of a spine there, so that this can still close really nicely, even with the bulk of all of that ribbon. So yeah, really like that. Let's do that again here then. Yeah, I do prefer these ribbons being, or this string, sorry, being a bit longer. Let's move, whoops, all those. Bring this in. So we're going to have Christmas envelope at the back. I'm then going to have this one down this side, green, slightly higher at the back, and then white down in this corner. Lovely. Just going to lift that one slightly. That's it. And then that goes together as well. You have got some ribbon coming out the top, but I really quite like that. So let's just tie this one round to show that we can still close it. So that's one closed, and this is how it looks open. I really like that. I think that's so cute, and it's turned out just as I was kind of imagining. This is also great, as I said, for me to get organised for Christmas. One of them is for somebody else, but I've got a little notepad so I can make my little Christmas list, and I've got some tags and a little money envelope ready to either attach to presents or pop in a card or whatever. So yeah, I am really happy with this project. I hope that you've enjoyed these videos as well, and that you've enjoyed seeing the process. I really enjoy making folios, and as I said, you can use whatever papers you like, have a play around with the inside. There are so many different sort of flips and flaps and things that you can add to these, but as a base, this is a really good starting point. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you have enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Drop me a comment as well if you wish. These things really help out supporting my channel. If you are not already a subscriber, of course, I would absolutely love for you to do so. Please make sure that you also click that bell button. That way you are notified of any new crafty videos. As I said right at the beginning, please go and check out all of the other crafters. I'm sure it will give you lots of different ideas for different projects that you could try yourself. Also, make sure that you're posting in the Facebook groups. As I said, we are now coming up to the end of July, so you won't have much longer to be able to post and be part of that prize drawing at the end. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.